Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. Being liberal and allowing other people from different states, from different regions to be a part of the developmental story of your state is very, very good. But oftentimes it's been noticed that the indigenous of such states at some time are being relegated to the background to an extent where you won't even hear their story. And that's why Lagos State, their indigenes are now saying enough is enough over the issue of marginalization and alienation of Lagos State. And they are saying that this must stop. Lagos State indigenes have been marginalized in their own state for too long. Imagine what happened in the days of Sen.Tinubu, where someone from Lagos, from Kwara State, was made his chief of staff, talking about Lai Mohammed. You know, a lot of things have happened, and they are saying that this must not continue. And it's good you come with me. Let's see the reason why they're saying this before we go into analysis. And the news have it that the sociocultural group Lagos Advocacy Group has claimed that Lagos State indigenes are being marginalized. The group withdraw its membership from Lagos indigenous youth in 5 divisional areas such as Ikeja, Badagry, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, and Egbe, accuse successive government in Nigeria and Lagos State of marginalization and alienation, alienating Lagos State indigenes deliberately. Convener of the group, Mr. Yakubu Eleto, in statement made available on Saturday, said there seems to be a deliberate non-inclusiveness of notable and particularly independent-minded indigenes in the governance of our state. We must make it clear that indigenes of Lagos State are not carried along in the governance of their state. Arsonists were looting our communities without any resistance from the community resident. This shows clearly that the government in place has not carried along the indigenes in the community. The indigenes of Lagos State have been displaced, their culture eroded, the tradition of Lagos State have also been relegated to the background by successive state government, and the spirit of Lagos as it were is nowhere to be found. The co-convener of the group, Mr. Adeyemi Suleiman Oniroko, while tracing the root of the marginalization and alienation of Lagos indigenes from political process, insisted that the marginalization of Lagos State indigenes started 2 decades ago. Oniroko said, and I quote, the marginalization and alienation of Lagos indigenes started at least 2 decades ago, and we make bold to say that non-indigenes have always formed the core of the government of Lagos State since 1999, despite the fact that there are competent Lagos indigenes willing and able to occupy these offices. To borrow the statement of His Excellency Governor Oyetola of Osun State, it is not fair and it is criminal for non-indigenes to take the slot of Osun when it comes to distribution of position. We agree with him and wonder why the same is not applicable in Lagos State. Permit me to make few examples. During the time of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as Lagos State Governor, Alhaji Lai Mohammed from Kwara State was made his chief of staff. Mr. Rao Aregbaoshola from Osun State was made a commissioner for works and later became governor in Osun State. Mr. Fela Otowori from Delta State was also a commissioner for lands. Mr. Femi Lanleri from Oyo State as special advisor. Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele from Ekiti State as special advisor and later commissioner in Lagos State. He later contested and won as senator in Ekiti. In this current administration of Mr. Sanwo Olu, there are a sizable number of non-indigenes in his cabinet, from Mr. Boyega Akusile, who is his deputy chief of staff, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, commissioner of education, Mr. Idris Salaku, commissioner for physical planning, Architect Kabiru Ahmed, Commissioner for Waterfront and Infrastructure, Mr. Gbenga Motosho, Commissioner for Information, Olalere Odunsokte. Commissioner for Energy Mineral Resources, Dr. Frederick Oladinde. Commissioner for Transportation, Engineer Aramide Adeyoye. Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Mrs. Lola Akande. Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Mr. Sam Ogube. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Dr. Wale Ahmed. Commissioner for Local Government and Community Affairs, Mr. Afolabi Ayintayo. Mr. Joe Ibokwe. Special Advisor for Drainage and Water Resources, Mr. Tokum Tubosun Alake. Special Advisor for Innovation and Technology. Oniroko added that about 70% of elected officials in the state are non-indigenous, which is making it difficult for the indigenes to have a place in the political space in the state. The worst of it is that 70% of elected officers in the state are non-indigenous, making it difficult for indigenes to have a place in their political space. Imagine, even the 3 senators representing Lagos State are not indigenes of Lagos State. Oh my God. Senator Solomon Adiola Olamilekan Yayi, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, late Senator Bayo Osinowo. What we Lagosians are tolerating is intolerable in other parts of the country. Example, Kano, where when in 2004, Mr. Honorable Justice Patrick Mahmood was denied nomination to the Court of Appeal on the grounds that he is not an indigene of Kano State. The same thing occurred in Imo and Abia State in 2011, when Abia State government was carved out of Imo State, asked all officers of non-indigenes in their public sector to resign and leave the state. The same is also happening now in Cross River State, where the governor of Cross River State is denying most senior judge appointment as a substantive chief judge of the state based on the fact that she is not an indigene of the state. Oh my God, this is really touching. I tell you the truth. No matter what, a servant should not eat more than a child, the heir in the family, the heiress in the family. No matter what, no matter how good your reasons are, I tell you the whole truth that it is totally wrong. Totally wrong. In as much as the limitation, there are a lot of limitation for indigenship of a place. You know, we know that sometimes because of such mindset, the environment seems not to grow because there's no opportunity for people from different places to come and stay there. But when it comes to political posts and when it comes to election, I feel that though we do not really know the position of the Nigerian constitution in respect to that, but I just feel that the people should be more prioritized, that the indigene of the place should be more prioritized than every other person. For example, there had been, I've heard it in the mouth of Bode George, who is a former chairman of PDP, that Ahmed Bola Tinubu is actually not from Lagos State, and but he became the governor of Lagos State. Now, look at what happened. To prove to you that there is a lot of truth in what he's saying, he had to hijack people from places like Kwara State to become his chief of staff. That's Lai Mohammed then was his chief of staff. Some other persons were being co-opted to come and be there. The same is happening now. Based on the analysis of this young man, the same is happening till today. The key people are being relegated to the background. One may be forced to say maybe that is why during the period of the destruction, some people did not really care. After all, this is not my land. The hoodlums, when they were going out to destroy the place, if you pick some of their names, I could still remember one of them was like from it was a South person, you know. I don't know whether it's Akwa Ibom or Cross River State. They mentioned their names, most of the hoodlums, because hey, this is not my state. I can do anything with the property of the place and then take a walk. And that is why the issue of citizenship and indigenship should be scrutinized before one is given elective position in a particular place. This is not United States of America. Because, for example, if you are a Nigerian, and not just a Nigerian, you are from that particular local government, no one will come and talk to you and tell you, burn this place, burn this place. When you know that you are the same people that will suffer it, the promotion of that your place is also your own promotion. But unfortunately, whenever strangers come in and they take up position, they do not care And that's why if you go to the south, it's during that period of rampage and all of that. It was very minimal. I could still remember one of those guys, a friend of mine who was at Akwa Ibom State, made me to understand that during the period of the crisis, that the indigenes stood out and said, hey, you guys cannot do that nonsense here. Where do you want to burn? This is our state. It can happen. And guess what? This same thing cannot happen in the north. Kanu indigene will not allow anybody to come in and rampage the whole environment and walk away. The issue of indigenship and citizenship needs to be balanced whenever people are being elected into public office. They should be at least, they should be prioritized in a way that they should be at least 80% of any executive council. They should be 80% or even 100% if they have enough people to take over those positions. This is very, very important. I'm so shocked hearing this level of marginalization in Lagos State. And guess what? This same thing we are hearing today, it cannot happen in northern states, most especially. It can't even happen in the east. Imagine in the east, someone, a Yoruba man, to become maybe a commissioner in the east. It can't happen, no matter how long stay you have been in that place. They say, well, I was born and bred here. I raised my children here. And they'll tell you, go back to where you are coming from. They won't allow it. So I know that a lot of people are going to be taking side that, so what are they doing? They are sleeping horses now. They don't know what to do. No, they should be brought in for them to manage their own place. Well, that's my own opinion, Sha. I can't force it on you. What do you